What's up, everybody? Hey, welcome. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. I am your host of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. My name is David Bradley, Senior Sales and Marketing Manager with Grant Cardone. What happens on the Cardone Solutions Podcast? Well, it is very simple. It's fun, for sure. I mean, if you ain't having fun doing it, then what's the point? Okay. What we do on the Cardone Solutions Podcast is I'm going to go out into cyberspace and I'm going to find Grant Cardone's free content. 80% of what we do here at Cardone Training Technologies is 100% free. So what could this be? It could be an article Grant's written. It could be a blog post he's put up. Maybe an email that got sent out. It could be even something as simple as a tweet or me breaking down a YouTube video or something that he dropped on the grams. Anything, right? But I'm going to take it. I'm going to dissect it. I'm going to put my 2 cents into it. I'm going to put some action ideas on it. Then I'm going to give it back to you so that you can take this material and then plug it into your sales and your business and your life and do what with it? Oh yeah, let's get some extra results. Like we do sales training at Cardone Training Technologies. And so if the training that you're getting is not producing a result, well, what was the point? And in order for the training that you're getting to produce a result, you're going to have to do what? Use it, right? So I'm going to give you some things to do with the data. That's what we do on the Cardone Solutions Podcast. And we even have a couple different sponsors for the Cardone Solutions Podcast. But before I get into that, if you haven't already, and if you have, thank you. If you haven't already, make sure that you have subscribed yourself to the Cardone Solutions Podcast. The podcast is for 2 people. Number 1, it's for me, because I love it and I'm having fun doing it. And it also helps me reaffirm and stay certain about who I am and what I'm doing and why I'm here and my mission, right? But it's for you, right? So I want to make sure that what I'm putting out there, you're not missing any of it, especially if you're getting some value from it. And if you are getting some value from it and you have subscribed, then also make sure that you share it out. Because if it's helping you, then I promise you it's going to be helping somebody else. So first timers, number 1, welcome. Thank you for being here. Make sure you've subscribed. Make sure you're sharing out the content that you're enjoying. And then last but not least, if there is something you would like me to do on the Cardone Solutions Podcast, more of or better, it is for you, right? So what would you like? I'm taking requests. So I just want to make sure that if I'm putting it out there and you're getting it, that it's doing something for you and that you're getting everything you can from it. So how can I make it better for you? Now, sponsors. The Cardone Solutions Podcast, today's episode is brought to you by Grant Cardone's 10X Income System. This is where you get to learn from the best. Who the best? Grant Cardone. That's right. You are going to get access to the most comprehensive business training available anywhere. Not just in the United States, not just in the world, not just in the solar system, anywhere. Okay? This is guaranteed to increase your income. We're going to show you how to grow your primary income, then how to create multiple flows of income. And from there, we're going to talk about growing your pipeline, creating passive income, and growing wealth like the 1%. Success leaves clues. And we're going to spread those clues out for you nice and easy so you can collect them all and then start using them. Over 17 training modules with your Uncle G. The 10X Pipeline Hack, 10X Income Accelerator, 10X Business Development, Persuasion Mastery Program. That sounds juicy, okay? And then personality dynamic assessments, okay? All of this put together for you for the low price of $997. That will get you 365 days of access to Grant Cardone's 10X Income System. Don't have the $997? Not a problem. You can do it quarterly for only $297. Don't have the $297? Not a problem. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to get you on Cardone University for 2 weeks for free. So if you want to take advantage of the 10X Income System, then here's what I'd like you to do. Head on over to cardonesolutions.com. Got a pen? cardonesolutions.com/10X your income. That's cardonesolutions.com/10X your income. That is where you can get signed up. Either $997 one shot, that'll get you access for the whole year, or you can do $297 every 92 days, once a quarter. Now, if neither one of those are possible for you, and that might be the case, totally get it. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go over to Cardone University and register for 2 weeks free access. How do you do that? You go to cardonesolutions.com/CardoneU free. That's cardonesolutions.com/Cardone, the letter U, the word free. And there you can take advantage of the entire library of Cardone University for you to figure out what you need to get better at so that you can increase your income to the degree that the 10X income system is cheap. Yeah, right? All right, so now that we've got all those things laid out, let's just get into what we're talking about today, which is very apropos, especially if getting on a program like this might be a stretch. We're going to talk about 3 choices that you're going to have to make in order to capitalize on the new economy. Right now, everybody is sitting back and trying to figure out what in the hell is going on. What do you think is going to happen next? What other piece of insanity is about to come down the pipe? Okay? Things are starting to open up again. We are all doing everything we possibly can to get back to some semblance of business as normal. Now, the normal that we used to know, that's over. But getting to, what a lot of folks like to call the new normal, that's what we're all trying to do right now. But nobody really knows what's going to happen. But everything's changing, and everything's going to be new again. And there are a lot of people, unfortunately, right now, that have already lost their jobs, and most likely more will be. And things are getting very real very fast. So, with that said, it's no secret either that in times like these, many of the world's greatest fortunes have been born during some of the toughest of times. Now, Grant, if you've been following him, especially lately, Grant believes that this is going to be the greatest shift of wealth that the world has ever seen. The question is, well, here's the deal. Whether you wind up on the good side of that shift or the bad side of that shift is going to all be about. It will all be about the actions that you take right now. So if Grant believes that this will be the greatest shift of wealth the world has ever seen, whether you're on the good side or the bad side of that is determinate upon the actions that you take right now. So in an email Grant sent out recently, he talked about very specifically what he would do if he were you. Now, I want you to keep in mind, I'm going to go over these 3 things. These will be choices that you're going to have to make. I want you to keep in mind that your level of success will only be one thing. A choice you make. And you might need to be making that choice every day, all day, more than once, over and over again. You may need to make these choices consistently until it becomes what? Until it becomes a habit. But maybe we need to go deeper than just habit here. Maybe it just needs to become a part of your consciousness. Okay? So, how to capitalize on the new economy. Step 1 is you need to create a crystal clear game plan. The game plan should be to build a financial fortress around you and your family. If you are just taking things one day at a time, you're playing with fire. That word just is such a dangerous word. Just enough. Just one day at a time. Okay? 78% of Americans, probably more at this point, are living paycheck to paycheck. How many people are out there right now on some kind of assistance. And if these are your realities, they don't have to be. I just want you to know that right now. It does not have to go down that way. Okay? So step one is what? It's to create a crystal clear game plan to build a financial fortress around you and your family. So your action idea on that deal is you better have a very crystal clear picture of what that financial fortress looks like. A fortress is what? Impenetrable. Do you have that yet? Got to get it. Okay. Step 2 to capitalize on the new economy is this. Is don't be dependent on just, there's that word again, just one or two sources of income. The more types of revenue you have, the less you are at risk. Think about Spotify for a second. Right? That's a subscription music service. How many flows do they have? That's how many members they have. They've got so many right now, even through all this, that if they lost a few, you know how many they'd have to lose to like just tank? Okay? And is their subscription service their only form of revenue? No. They got people coming in from Hulu. They got people coming in from their advertising. Think about it. Go look at their business model. They've got multiple flows rolling. Okay? Look at Grant. Grant doesn't have one apartment building. He's got a bunch. And within those individual complexes, they have multiple flows because they have multiple units. So the more types of revenue you have, the less you are at risk. And the less risk you have, the more aggressive you can be. So how can you maximize revenue opportunities at your present job? Do that. Do this. That's your action idea. How can you maximize revenue opportunities at your present job? And don't just answer the question. Like, actually maximize the flow at your current gig before we start looking for side hustles. How many different ways can you increase your income at your present job? So you want to set like an initial target that is a stair step towards a much larger, just out of reach, kind of scary target. Like, how would that look for you? Could you create 3 flows where each one covers all your living expenses? 3 different flows from the same job where each flow covers all of your living expenses. Well, that's an interesting target. And can you tie that into building 3 flows that would cash flow to the degree that not only your family will be taken care of now, but they will be for generations? And then let's go beyond your family. What about your church or a charity you believe in? Generational wealth that you created that goes to them. That's some big picture stuff. Okay? How did we get there from something as simple as, hey, don't be dependent on 1 or 2 sources of income, right? That's awesome. That's 10x thinking. So the third step to capitalize on the easy sell, remember the first 2? Game plan for a financial fortress, not dependent on 2 sources of revenue. 3, put together some kind of foolproof system in place to make sure that your plan, number 1, actually becomes a reality. Ideas in and of themselves are not worth anything. They're worthless It's just an idea until it's implemented. The iPhone. Steve Jobs had an idea. But until that thing went to market, it was just an idea. The implementation is what matters. And this is why Grant put together the 10X income system so that you can have a foolproof plan, multiple plans for maximizing primary income, additional flows, building and growing your pipeline so it's nice and fat, creating passive income, and then really understanding how the 1% get it done. Because when you look back at this moment, the one we're in together right now, you're either going to thank yourself for taking advantage of an opportunity, or you may kick yourself in the butt for sitting back and waiting for the rest of the world, or waiting with the rest of the world is what I should be saying, waiting for something to happen, something that somebody else created. So choose wisely. And whatever choice you make sure it involves action. Like, do something, right? Because I'll tell you what the wrong thing to do is. The wrong thing to do is nothing. You got to do something. Think about that for a second. You got to do something, whether it's the 10X income systems, whether it's Cardone University for free, whether it's grabbing a book, whether it's just making sure you're subscribed to the podcast. You have to do something. Because everything else is going outward. Everything else is growing. Everything else is expanding. And if you're not doing that, then what are you doing? You're contracting. And you're going to get passed up. Don't do that. Don't get passed up. Expand, grow, do something. Okay? So what do we got? We got a crystal clear game plan for what? Financial fortress. We're going to start creating multiple flows of income first and foremost within our primary sources of income, and then we're going to expand out from there. And then we're going to find a foolproof system in play. And whether that's ours, one you make up. Okay, ours is easy because it's already been done and it's time tested over 30 years. But, however you do it, you got to do something. The wrong thing to do is nothing. Okay, so what has this been? Well, this has been another exciting episode of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. I'm your host of the Cardone Solutions Podcast, David Bradley. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for listening. I know I've got some regulars that have been tuning in, so I just want to give you guys a shout out. Thank you so much for being here. Much appreciated. Have an awesome rest of your week. And I'll leave you with the words of Grant Cardone, which is this: be great, because nothing else pays. See you soon.